Having high testosterone levels is awesome. You feel more confident, more socially calibrated, more energetic. It makes losing body fat and building muscle a whole lot easier. You'll have an easier time focusing and getting things done, and it really does make working hard and accomplishing things feel good. To summarize, life's pretty great when you're walking around with high testosterone levels. So in this video, I'm going to give you some killer tips on how to increase testosterone naturally. If you're new here, my name's Richardson. I'm a personal trainer, a certified nutrition coach, and a chemical engineer. And for years, I suffered from low testosterone levels from being a fat, overweight piece of shit. And it wasn't until I went through a pretty nasty breakup in college that I really started to get a grip on my life. So I'm here to share what I've learned along the way with other men so that they can improve their health and increase testosterone naturally, just like I did. And I do post videos like this one every single week, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe so that you're not missing out. Okay, let's dive in. The 3 pillars that you have to master if you want to increase testosterone naturally are as follows: your diet, your training, and your lifestyle. Now, I'm going to talk about all 3 of these, so make sure you stick around for all of them, because if you miss one, you're really only getting a partial piece of the whole picture. So let's go ahead and start with nutrition. What you eat and how much you eat is crucial to increasing your testosterone levels naturally. The single most important thing that you can do to increase your testosterone levels is to fix any underlying micronutrient deficiencies that you might have. And statistically, you probably do have a few micronutrient deficiencies. If you're not sure whether or not you have any, you can go get some blood work done to get your levels checked. Getting blood work done can be kind of a hassle though, and it can also be expensive, so I don't really blame you if you don't really feel like doing this. But sometimes insurances cover it, so in that case, it's definitely worth having the data. But an easy way to cover most of your bases is to just start taking some kind of high quality multivitamin. Now, you'll need to take it for at least a few months to actually correct any micronutrient deficiencies that you might have, but that's a pretty hassle-free way of correcting any of those micronutrient deficiencies. I'd also encourage you to start adhering to a more whole foods based diet. Start eating more nutrient dense foods that are going to fuel your body to function well. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't ever enjoy non-whole foods every now and then, but at least try to make the bulk of your diet whole foods. So I'd follow the 80-20 rule here. Make 80% of your diet whole foods and 20% just kind of whatever you want to eat. And you can learn more about good foods to eat in my testosterone boosting foods playlist up here. Those are great videos to check out if you want to know what you should be eating specifically. Next up, you want to make sure that you're eating enough food. Your calorie intake does matter here, and it does affect your testosterone levels. You want to make sure you're eating enough food to support your testosterone production. So I suggest that you track your food and at least get kind of a ballpark idea of how many calories that you're eating. And you really don't have to be a maniac about it like me. I'm an engineer and I can't help but just get kind of nerdy about it. I think very much in terms of numbers, so that's just kind of the way that I naturally gear towards things. But you should at least know whether you're eating 1,500 calories or 2,500 calories per day. And you also want to make sure that you're eating a good balance of fats, carbs, and protein, because all 3 play important roles in testosterone regulation. So don't eliminate a macronutrient group out of your diet. All right, so that covers the nutrition. There are more things that you can do here, but what I covered, that's going to make the biggest impact to increase testosterone naturally. So we're not going to dive too much deeper into those other topics in this video. Let's dive into fitness. So one thing that you have to be careful about with fitness is overtraining. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that training more and training harder is going to result in faster and better progress, and this is simply not true. You don't have to train like a madman to increase your testosterone levels, so training frequency is important here. Stressing your body out too much and too often is going to chronically elevate cortisol, and the testosterone-cortisol relationship acts in opposition to each other. In other words, higher cortisol levels equals lower testosterone levels, and vice versa. So shoot for 3 to 4 workouts per week to set yourself up to recover well between your workouts. Also, always prioritize strength training over cardio. Lifting weights will increase testosterone naturally because it supports muscle growth. Now, you want to lift weights to build strength, and you really only need to lift weights for a solid hour. So don't overdo it here. So many people make the mistake mistake of thinking that more is more as opposed to less is more. Less is more in the art of strength training, and I always tell my clients, rest longer, get stronger. Work in the 5 to 10 rep range, rest for a solid 2 or 3 minutes between all of your sets, and do about 5 different exercises per workout. Do your compound lifts first and then switch over into doing your isolation movements. If you follow that pattern, that's a very good, well-structured workout. So stick with this regime and you should be good to go with your training. And you'd be surprised how effective following such a simple protocol like this is, so just give it a shot. Okay, lastly, your lifestyle. This is how you spend your time outside the gym and outside the realm of nutrition. So sleep is definitely the most important aspect of lifestyle management that carries over into increasing testosterone naturally. Make time to sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. Go to bed at the same time every single night and lock in your sleeping schedule. It is not healthy to go to bed early one night and then go to bed late the next night. Heck, I'd even say it's better to go to bed super late every single night than to go to bed early most nights and then late a few nights. Because this throws off your circadian rhythm and that disrupts the release of your hormones. And a lot of testosterone is produced while you sleep, so don't skip out on this one. Another thing that you can do is cut back on your exposure to plastics and synthetic materials. They're everywhere and you really can't avoid them 100%, but be aware of a few big ones. Keeping food in plastic containers is just unnecessary because you can easily substitute it with using some kind of glass or metal container to store food. Also, don't use plastic utensils to cook with either. Use wood or metal utensils to cook instead. High temperatures break down plastic materials and you don't want those broken down chemicals to leach into the food that you're cooking. Also, make it a point to get outside more often. Walking is one of my favorite cardios to do because it's low stress and it's a great way for me to just get outside and soak up some sunlight. So I would definitely recommend walking outside more often. You'll burn some extra calories too, and exposing yourself to sunlight during the day is also great for your circadian rhythm. So stop spending so much of your time indoors all day and all night. And then lastly, quit beating your meat so much. Guys who only jerk off like once a week compared to guys who jerk off regularly have higher testosterone levels. There was also a study that showed that abstaining from beating your meat can increase testosterone levels too. And if you don't believe me and you're skeptical about this, just try it out for yourself and see how you feel. It's probably not the best thing to be doing anyways, since most guys watch porn when they beat their meats, and regular porn consumption is just awful for your mental health. So cut back on all that crap and just find better things to do with your time. But those are the basics on how to increase testosterone naturally. You can dive into each one of these specific topics pretty deeply, but that's exactly what I do here on my channel. I have whole separate videos on sleep, on strength training, on how to set up your nutrition, on foods to eat, lifestyle hacks that you can do to increase your testosterone levels. So if you're interested in learning more about all of these topics, go ahead and subscribe because that's what I'm here for. But that's all for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below which of these tips you learned the most about so that I can make videos about them in the future that dive deeper into each of these specific topics. But if you made it to the end, I do appreciate your support. I hope you got a ton out of this video as well. Good luck in all your endeavors to increase testosterone naturally. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.